This morning, during my topics on my mind, one of the topics I talked about was the news that was reported by Equestria Daily that the 2021 MLP movie will be heading straight to Netflix for release in September. Now, this is ironic since, I kind of asked the question in a topic on Wednesday of whether or not it was going to be theatrical bound, VOD bound, or released simultaneously, which would have been theatrical and VOD. Well, today, as I mentioned, Equestria Daily reported that it's going to be streaming, kind of VOD, but mostly streaming, courtesy of Netflix. And as I mentioned in the topic today, which I do apologize when I talked about it, if it sounded distorted or anything, it seems that when I went out to do a little shopping today, I noticed that AT&T had somebody working on the phone wires, so it makes me wonder if that caused some interference or something like that along the ways. But I don't know. Maybe it was just, other people getting online or something was going on Xfinity's part, but who knows. But anyway, as I talked about, the movie, of course, was announced this morning by Equestria Daily to be heading towards Netflix in September instead of being on the big screen or instead of VOD or simultaneously, released in both areas. And to me, like I mentioned in the topics, this kind of makes sense because, one, you might, think, oh, it's COVID related, it's because of the pandemic and all that. And that might be true, and Paramount and Hasbro and Allspark Pictures, they don't want to take a chance that something may happen and things might get closed down again, so it's understandable. The other thing that I think pretty much gave it away that it might end up going to either VOD or streaming was the fact that we haven't seen any promotion for it yet. We haven't seen no teaser trailers, we haven't seen no posters, teaser-wise or whatever. We haven't seen anything except reading a potential synopsis of what the characters are going to be like, what the world, what the setting's going to be like, stuff like that. We didn't get any more information other than that, so that pretty much, in my mind, clued in the fact that it was probably going to end up going VOD or streaming. Not saying that it wouldn't have hit theatrical screens anyway, it still could. We got a lot of time between now and September for Paramount, Netflix, Allspark and Hasbro to come up with an idea to where, okay, you want to put it on Netflix, that's fine, but at least give it maybe a week or two run in the theaters before you do it. It would make a little bit more sense. Now, I could also understand probably why they're doing this too. Like I said, again, they don't want to take a chance that something may relapse as far as like this pandemic goes and everything, and things might get shut down. But as I mentioned in the topic video today, I think there's another good chance and reasoning for it being moved to Netflix. Netflix gaining the rights, if you will, for distributing, is due to the fact that Paramount and Hasbro don't want to take a chance that around the time they plan to release the MLP movie in theaters, that it would be around the same time you would have these other movies, these big blockbusters, also heading on to the big screen. And that with these other blockbusters coming to the big screen, it could basically cause the MLP movie to be overshadowed, overlapped, if you will, and not attended or seen by anybody at the theaters. And that instead, people would rather see something like Dune or something like, Space Jam: New Legacy, even though it should be out of the theaters by then. You kind of get the idea. Like any of the movies that are big blockbusters that are planned maybe or was originally planned for this year or last year, and getting moved to a later date. Like, some, as I try to say, were planned for like sometime in the summer or spring of this year, got moved to September of this year. Some that were planned for like late last year got moved to September this year. So maybe Paramount doesn't want to, risk the fact that, again, like I said, it could get overshadowed, it could get overlapped, and people would rather go see these other big blockbuster films and thus leave the MLP movie without any opportunity to make its money back on the box office.
instead of going on the Halloween thing with.
Like, sorry about those. But like I said, it's just I'm just watching something on John Campea right now. It looked like something on his end flashed or something. But anyway, like I said, maybe it's just Paramount, not wanting to risk a chance at the fact that again the movie may not get any money back at the box office because all these other movies will potentially overlap it and overshadow it. So honestly, I think whether we like it or not, this is a good move. The other thing that I think they're realizing that potentially is a good reasoning for moving it from the big screen to Netflix is due to the fact that one, it's supposed to open the door to the new G5 series. And historically, I'm sure they're aware, that being Hasbro mostly, that the last time they tried to do this with an MLP property, which was G1, that movie bombed, and it ended, and basically, that movie basically bombed, even though it was meant to be a big screen pilot, along with the two previous primetime specials that came before it, to the ongoing series that debuted basically a couple months later. So I don't. So obviously, with that knowledge, with that historic knowledge, in their minds of the last time we did this, it bombed. Not the 2017 movie, which they made more of the money back at the box office, than people probably thought. It's more along the lines of they don't want to risk the chance that it might bomb. Because when they did the 2017 movie, the world was already established. The characters were already established. But with this movie being like the pilot to the new series, again, the last time they tried to do that, it potentially, bombed on them. The movie bombed on them, and that was, 35 years ago. And that's my dog. She's just playing right now. Anyway, it basically bombed on them. It was a failure. So to me, I think this is a smart move. What this also does is it also kind of makes us speculate that perhaps Netflix is going to be the home for the new G5 series. Not Discovery Family, which is the home right now of Friendship is Magic and Pony Life, but mostly Netflix. It makes you really curious that if Netflix is distributing the movie, it makes you wonder if Netflix is also going to be the distributor for the series. It's a good speculation. Could be wrong. It could remain on Discovery Family, but right now it's really makes you wonder and opens that door of speculation of will they basically go that route? Will they, along with the movie, also allow Netflix to be the distributor in the home for G5? It makes you wonder because one, it does give them less restrictions. If they want to make this series as they're describing it, with characters being like a woke, activist, things like that, and whatever, it makes you wonder if Netflix is going to be the home of G5 after the movie debuts on Netflix itself. And just in case you're wondering, well, what about season 9 of Friendship is Magic? It's on Hulu. I've got a feeling that what some people have pointed out is true, and what they pointed out is there's a potential that with the movie coming to Netflix, being distributed by Netflix, that season 9 may end up going over to migrating over to Netflix, to join the rest of to join up with the rest of the previous 8 seasons to complete the Friendship is Magic set. So I could see that happening, and I could see also building up to it. We could see Netflix being the home of distributing the streaming home for Pony Life when it needs a streaming provider, as well as I could see them, being the home of some of the specials like Rainbow Road Trip and all that down the line. So I expect a lot more MLP news to come out as far as Netflix is concerned. Whether or not it's going to be announced that it's also going to be the home for the series along with the movie, and I also expect some news to come out. And that again, that's with my dog. She's just playing around right now. Basically, I also expect there to be some news potentially of season 9 heading over to Netflix from Hulu just in time, for the 2021 movie to be released, along with potentially Pony Life and Rainbow Road Trip. Again, I could be wrong, it's just speculation, but I think if they want to build this up as being a big deal, that's one way of doing it. But let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on Netflix getting the distributing rights to the 2021 movie? Do you think this potentially leads to Netflix being the distributing home, the main distributing home of the series? Or do you think it'll be remaining on Discovery Family, then head over to Netflix in time? And do you think perhaps Season 9 will migrate from Hulu to Netflix to complete the season set for Friendship is Magic, along with things like Rainbow Road Trip and Pony Life, to help build anticipation up for the 2021 movie coming to the service in September? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Let me know what you think in the live chat during the premiere. And I'll talk to you later. God bless. Take care. I am out.